Here is an A to Z of Final Fantasy VIII. A is for Angelo, Renoa's pet dog and sometimes weapon of mass destruction. Despite the masculine name, Angelo is female. B is for Balam. This cozy little seaside town is the first town the party stops by on the adventure. C is for Centra. This civilization was flourishing on the planet until it was destroyed in the last lunar cry. Not much is known about them. D is for Dole. This seaside town is under attack at the start of the game from Galbadian forces, and sets up your first mission as a seed candidate. E is for Alone. Squall's older sister and the big sis of the orphanage gang. She remains mysterious throughout the game, but quickly becomes very important to the plot. F is for Fire Cavern. A small cavern near Balam. It's said to host the Fire Guardian Force Ifrit. G is for Galbadia. The main antagonist nation throughout most of the game. The main capital of their country is Deling City, named after their president. H is for Headmaster Sid, the leader of Balam Garden throughout the early story and the continuation of a Final Fantasy staple in which having a character called Sid is usually someone in the game. I is for Irvine. This playboy sharpshooter joins a little later in the game to help with a major plot point. It seems he knows the rest of the characters, but they can't remember him. J is for Junction. The controversial system in the game in which the characters can equip magics to stats in order to buff themselves. K is for Kyros, a mysterious character that only appears in the main character's dreams. He's a Galbadian soldier who uses Catals as a weapon. L is for Laguna, another temporary character from the dream world. Laguna is a bit of a bumbling fool and not very bright, but hey, at least he has his looks. Wields a machine gun. M is for Missile Base, a place deep within Galbadian territory. Selphie and her team are tasked with infiltrating the base in order to stop a missile attack on Balam and Trebia Gardens. N is for Norg. Norg is a wealthy Shumi who offers to bankroll the creation of Balam Garden for Headmaster Sid. The player fights them as a boss when they return to Garden during Disc 2. O is for Orphanage. As the player progresses throughout the game, the story starts to unfold that all the characters except Renoa grew up in an orphanage that was run by matron Idia and her husband Sid. P is for Prison. After failing to assassinate Sorceress Idia at the culmination of Disc 1, the player and the rest of the cast are taken to a political prison in the middle of the desert. Q is for Quistis, the young instructor the player meets at the start of the game, who helps with completing the Fire Cavern and is a big part of the offense on Dole. R is for Renoa, the secondary protagonist to the story and the main character Squall's love interest. Renoa, along with Zone and Watts, are members of the timber resistance group, the Forest Owls. As it turns out, she's the daughter of Galbadian General Caraway. S is for Squall, the main protagonist of the game. Squall is a quiet, secluded loner for much of the start of the game, who is slowly dragged out of his shell by his friends. A reluctant leader who always doubts himself, he quite often succeeds despite this though. T is for Trabia, the third of the 3 gardens. Selfie, one of the characters, is a transfer student from here. It's never known what the garden looks like, as it is mostly destroyed in the Galbadian missile crisis. U is for Ultimecia, the main antagonist for the game. It takes about 2/3 of the way through the game before Ultimecia is known to the player. She is a sorcerer from the far future who aims to compress time in order to reign supreme. V is for Visage. This is a monster during the later start stages of the game. It is a face that is emerging from the ground with 2 hands, called Lefty and Righty. W is for Winhill, a tiny village well out in the middle of nowhere. Other than a dream sequence with Laguna, it's very possible that the player may never actually visit this village. During the dream sequence we meet Rain, who is implied as being Squall's mother. X is for Zhu. Probably said that wrong. She is a non-playable character who is a seed operative and works in Balam Garden. A friend of Quistis, she takes part in the Triple Triad Card Club side quest and is the rank of Heart, as well as having the rare card Carbuncle. Y is for You are the best looking guy here. This has become a meme in recent times. And Z is for Zell. Rounding out the party is Zell. He's a hot-headed martial artist with a big heart and a bigger appetite. When he's not breaking garden rules on his hoverboard, he can be found eating hot dogs.